Well, happy National Day, or better yet, Eid al-Ittihad. This weekend, we celebrate 54 years of the United Arab Emirates of Unity back in 1971. But now we focus our attention on what is round 2 of the Gulf Radical Cup. We had qualifying earlier today, and now we have the grid walk. So we'll go onto the grid, and we'll have a chat with all of the drivers that we can get our hands on. I know there are a few that I really want to talk to on the front 2 rows of the grid, but both of them are men of very few words. They do a lot of their talking on track. Now, who I'm talking about here is Alex Geshev, a champion in the series, and of course Alexander Novichkov, who did a fantastic qualifying run to put himself in second position. We'll try and get word with Johnny Kazum as well, because that was a fantastic effort from him. And when I was speaking to Johnny today, all he said was he just put a new set of tires on the car and he went that much faster. So you can just see behind us now, they'll come through pit lane once and then they will line up in their grid positions. There is Johnny Kazum in the number 5. Great qualifying run from him there, followed by the 87. Then Alexander Novichkov there, a very, very quick man indeed. But you saw Harry Hannum, and now the rest of the field coming through. Perry Deramas is back. Alan Alfonsi, who unfortunately will start at the tail end of the field. Alexander Klebanov, Amir Faison, another one to watch out for here as well, being driver coached by George King. And then we've got Sivan Yousaf back in the championship after a few years away. Bukanshdov, a former champion. And then Andy Lowe, who's racing a few weeks ago at Virginia International Raceway. How he did the first round and flew all the way to the United States and do the the Radical World Finals, I will never know. But when you're a racer, you're in peak physical condition, and doing it, well, it's as easy as just going to work in the morning. So let's go and head over to the grid, and let's see if we can have a chat with. I see a lot of the team and the officials and key members of the Radical organization are here. I know a few of them don't like talking to us very often, so we'll have to skip that. But before we go in, I just want to show you something as well. You see all the gentlemen and the ladies here in orange. A huge shout out to each and every one of them. They're here race weekend throughout the day, and they do a magnificent job, like my friend Victor here, who of course they all make sure that everything runs smoothly here race weekend. They got yellow flags in hand here to warn of any dangers that happen, as we've got Alexander Chichava for Dream Racing making his way behind our position here. So yeah, a huge shout out to the marshals here, who do an incredible job each and every time we go racing, because of course without them we would not be going racing at all. So here we are on the front row of the grid, but of course Harry Hannum and Alexander Novichkov, who will line up on the front row of the grid, are not here just yet because we just saw them go through pit lane, because they'll do another outlap here before the start. Then of course they'll line up in their respective grid positions. It will be a rolling start, so they'll have a formation lap. They'll line up alongside one another. It'll be a double file start here, as we do with the safety cars as well, and they'll be making their way towards our position here. But of course, the one thing they have to tackle is not the safety car that BMW is actually down there, is turn 1. It is a decline, and it's a very interesting setup that we have here at the Dubai Autodrome. Using the full Grand Prix circuit configuration, it's a dip down to the right-hand side, and of course, this is one of the quickest parts of the track as well. It is, well, you get over 200 plus kilometers an hour on this front straightaway, and then you've got to be hard on the brakes down through turn 1, and usually that's where we see a lot of things happening. Fingers crossed nothing does happen, because we don't want that at all, as the first cars are now starting to make their way into position here at the Dubai Autodrome for what is race 1 of round 2 of the Gulf Radical Cup. Now, I'm keeping my eye out, because who we want to have a chat with is the 19 of Harry Hannum, and of course Alexander Novichkov in that number 8. It was a fabulous run from him, and right behind us has now come the very young and the very talented Harry Hannum. We don't get many opportunities to speak on camera with these racers, and it's great to see. Harry, that was a fantastic qualifying effort here. Of course, you're definitely one of the contenders for the championship, but today it seems to be it's quite a tough field. What do you think?
Yeah, we had strong pace, quali. Just going to try keep it up into the race, not overthink things, and keep focused, and we'll see how this goes.
And the car has just been pulled back, so we'll just wait for them to finish that off. But that's Harry Hannum talking to us there briefly. I think they're actually in the wrong positions, that's why. So we'll move out of the way, because Harry Hannum should be on our left, obviously the right-hand side of the track there, because that's where he will be. While this is happening, let's see if we can actually get a quick chat here with Johnny Kazum, as Alexander Novichkov pulls into position. Great qualifying job from him there to put himself second on the grid. But Johnny, I am absolutely delighted to say that you're on the second row of the grid. It's fantastic to see you. You've been doing this for a number of years, and I think this is your best qualifying so far this season. How do you feel?
Excited, focused. Hopefully, I'll maintain the leadership from turn 1 in the national class. And I need some luck.
Well, I hope the luck is on your side, but now what's the game plan going down towards turn 1? You've got Bukanstov alongside you, Novichkov in front of you, and just to your right, you've got Harry Hannum. 3 very quick drivers, but you're quick in your own right. What is the thought plan going down towards turn 1?
Slipstream with the guys, get much speed as I can, top speed. That's the plan.
Well, good luck. I know families here as well supporting you, as they do every single race weekend. Alongside him, Alex Bukanstov, he's just having a quick word there from one of his co-drivers, James Winslow. Now, I wonder, though, if we can have a chat with James, because I know Alex is a man of very few words. So they're just having a quick chat here with the team. So, of course, James and Alex will be racing in Malaysia in a few weeks' time. But, of course, here you are. You're talking to Alex, and I know Alex likes to get the zone. He's a man of very few words. He likes to do his talking on track. What are his final thoughts now going into this first race here?
Obviously, he's used to starting on pole position, so for him this is quite a relaxed start to the race. We've got 2 cars in front of us. Harry Hannon's a very young, fast driver, silver driver. Alex on the left-hand side here is stepping his game up. So no, it should be a good race. We changed his setup for qualifying. We experimented. It was our last time to experiment. We've had a few problems with the car in the preparation process and the testing on the build-up. So we tried something, and now we've gone back to something we know is going to be good for a race and a 25-minute stint.
Excellent. Thank you so much, James. I'll let you get back to the team there. Let's see if we can get a very brief chat with Alex here, Novichkov. Tremendous qualifying effort here from Alex. Alex, this is your highest starting position so far this weekend. Well, of course, it's race 1, but this season as well. You must be ecstatic for this.
Yes, of course. I try to do my best.
Well, so what is your thoughts now going down towards the first corner here? You've got Harry alongside you. You've got Bukanstov and Kazoon behind you as well. What's the game plan here?
Attack and win.
There you go. He wants to be number 1 through that first corner. We're being told to get off the grid. We've got 1 minute to go before the race starts. So let's head off here. Very lucky there to have a chat with Harry Hannum, with James Winslow, who, of course, is helping Alex Bukanstov here this weekend, as he does every weekend. Alex Novichkov. Then, of course, we've got to squeeze our way through here. We've got to make sure we get up back to the booth as well. So that was the grid walk here for Golf Radical Cup race 1 of the weekend of round 2. Let's head back up to the commentary box and we'll talk you through this 25-minute sprint race.
Thank you.
So the formation lap underway here for what will be race 1 for Golf Radical Cup here today. We set the field up. So the grid currently making their way down the back straight here. You can see Harry Hannum tucked in behind the BMW safety car. Behind him, Alexander Novichkov with his best qualifying position. I think it might be his best qualifying position to date, if not tied with his best position so far in his very short career he's had so far in the Gulf Radical Cup. Of course, our defending national class champion. Behind them will be Alex Bukanchdov and Johnny Kazoum. Great to talk to the four of them as well. Well, we talked to James Winslow instead of Alex Bukanchdov because both him and Novichkov, both men have very few words. They prefer, as we said before, to do their talking out on track rather than talking to us here in the media, but great to hear their insights as well. And of course, Novichkov has one thing in mind. He wants to be in the lead when he gets down towards turn 1. So only a few corners now to go before we get things underway here at the Dubai Autodrome for round 2, race 1 of the Gulf Radical Cup for the 25-26 season. So they'll form up in their positions. It will be double file here. And of course, it will be a rolling start for the Gulf Radical Cup. Now they're forming up nicely. You can see Harry Hannum and Alexander Novichkov alongside one another. It will be Harry Hannum on the left-hand side of your picture here. On the right-hand side, it is Alexander Novichkov, followed by Alex Bukanchdov, and then it is Johnny Kazoum there. And then Perry Deramas is on the row behind him. And I have to check on who is alongside. We'll get to that in a few moments' time. So through the final corner now they go on the formation lap. We're about to get underway here for race 1 of round 2 in the Gulf Radical Cup. Will it be Hannum? Will it be Novichkov? Will it be Bukanchdov? Or will it be Kazoum in the lead of this race when they go through turn 1 here for the first time? We are racing here, 25 minutes of racing here in the Gulf Radical Cup for sprint race number 1. It's a good start there from the entire field. We're going 2 wide, possibly 3 wide at the back there. That's Amir Faizin trying to defend his position. We're going to try and go 4 wide down towards turn 1. Harry Hannum has the inside line. A big lock up there on the left rear of Perry Deramas in the 69. Trying to go all the way around the outside. And that's going to cost him a number of positions. But is that more than just locking up? Is there some bodywork rubbing up against the left rear of the number 69 as Alexander Chachava goes round through turn 2, and a number of others are going off as well. Now that's the 44 that's gone off as well. Who else is almost into the wall as yellow flag at turn 3 and 4? So that was Sergey in the 44. Now is that Andy Lowe as well mixed up in that as well as Hannum, Novichkov, Bukanchdov, Kazoum all survived that. And there is still something running at the back, the left rear of that 69. The team are going to be keeping a very close eye on that car throughout this race as well. Because if that is body rub and body contact on that left rear, that is going to cause a puncture. As you see a move position at the tail end of the field. And that was Andy Lowe, so he has gotten through everything, but he's been shuffled right down the order. And that is Vasily Vatikin as well. That is not a position that we're used to seeing him in, that number 96. Well, actually, he started from the pit lane, and the safety car has been deployed here on the opening lap here at round 2 of the Gulf Radical Cup for the 25-26 season. Vasily Vatikin will join the field at the tail end there as we will now slow the field down behind the safety car. It'll be deployed. Hannum, Novichkov, Bukanchdov, Kazoum. So it was Hannum who got the start that he wanted, and it was certainly a difficult one. Well, there is Alexander Chachava, and I have a feeling that is the 87, Alexis behind him, by the looks of it. So unfortunately, that means 2 cars out, 1 for Dream Racing as well, and that'll be heartbreaking there for Sean Simpson as the safety car has picked up race leader Harry Hannum, and behind him Alexander Novichkov with Alex Bukanchdov tucked in behind them. So it's a single file line here. They will weave in and out to keep the temperature in the tyres as the cars slow right down to around 80 kilometers an hour round the Dubai Autodrome here. So Bukanchdov shown as 3rd. Perry Deramas is up into 5th place. Amir Faizin down into 6th. Simin Yousaf up into 7th position. Alexander Klebanov, Andy Lowe, Alan Alfonsi, Vasily Vatikin all move up. And there might be actually 2 other cars that have not come through either. So Yahid Kardam in the 7 has not come across the line, and Sergey has not come through either in the 44. Now there is a car coming into the pit lane, And it is Sergey, the 44 car, our latest participant here in the Golf Radical Cup. Not the way that he would like to start his race weekend here at all, having entered the championship for the very first time. So the entire field is neutralized behind the safety car as the recovery effort underway here for 3 cars that that have stopped on track. We've seen at least 2 of them. We know where Chichava is, and we know where the 87 is as well. We've not seen where Yahid Kardam has gone off either. There you can see Chichava and the 87. Now, where has Yahid Kardam gone? He's not come through Sector 1, has the Frenchman. Which brings us down to 11 cars here in the Golf Radical Cup. Sprint race number 1, the first of 2 that we'll have here today. And then tomorrow we'll have the 45-minute endurance race, which will feature 1 mandatory pit stop and a driver change if there are drivers doing it together. Although it looks like the entire field will be doing the 45-minute session solo. Good practice for those who are looking at entering the world of endurance racing around the world. Doing a 45-minute stint behind the car is not easy, and actually it's quite warm outside as well. Despite it being winter here in the United Arab Emirates, the sun is shining and it is very, very warm on track there. So that pit stop tomorrow is, well, there's going to have to be a lot of strategy in play there to ensure that the drivers stay cool, but we'll get to that tomorrow as Harry Hannam will lead the field round behind the safety car. Alexander Novichkov stays in second with Bukhanstov in third. Johnny Kazoum in 4th position, and he of course is leading the national class as well, which is exactly where he wants to be. However, he does want to be at least 1 position further up the road as well, because he wants to be on the podium, not just in class but overall as well, and he certainly has an opportunity to do so here. But Hannam, Novichkov and Bukhanstov are going to make it just that much more difficult for him here at the Dubai Autodrome. He's in the full Grand Prix circuit configuration behind the safety car here for the first time in the Golf Radical Cup. Not the best way that we would like to have started this race, to get a couple of green flag laps in, but that's how racing works. You never know when it will happen. And we've seen 3 cars, including the number 44, come into the pit lane, Alexander Chichava and the 87 of Alex. We have seen on the side of the road with the recovery effort underway, and the marshals with the safety car board out displayed all over the track with the yellow flags waving to inform the drivers to slow down and keep at a steady pace. Stay behind the car that's in front of you, no overtaking unless told to otherwise. As there is Harry Hannam, and he's going to want this safety car to last as long as possible. But for Novichkov, Bukhanstov and the rest of the field behind them, they will want this safety car to come in immediately so they can go back to racing and take some points away from Harry Hannam to add to their tally in this championship. So no further action for the incident at turn 2 that we saw earlier in the broadcast. But we still not sure what has happened to Yahid Kardam, though. We didn't see that car on track. We did see the 32 and the number 87. We'll have a quick chat with each other to just understand what exactly happened there and make sure it doesn't happen again in our second race, which will take place later on today. So Harry Hannam, Alexander Novichkov with Alex Bukhanstov. Then it's Johnny Kazoum from Perry Deramas, Amir Faison, Sibin Yousaf, Alexander Klebanov, Andy Lowe, Alan Alfonsi. Vasily Vatikin is at the tail end of the field for our 11 Golf Radical Cup drivers here. So the safety car is still out for the time being. As soon as the lights go off on top of the BMW, that means we are racing again here at the Dubai Autodrome. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Now, will it be another lap behind the safety car? There's no notes have popped up on our timing screens here if there is, or if the safety car is peeling in this time, and we'll be back to green flag racing. Let's see if we can see that BMW at the sharp end of the field. You can just see Johnny Kazoum exiting out through the left-hand side as the cars once again roar through the final sector here. We could just hear them from our position here. Now, where is the safety car? Does it come through once again? Yes, it should do, as the safety car boards are still being shown, as are the yellow flags, and there indeed comes the safety car through and across the line, once again bringing the field through. So it's Hannon from Novichkov, and Bukunchtov is going to want to close that gap up a bit on the number 8 in front of him in order not to be caught out when the green flag is waved once again. Now, interesting, cars 69 and 15, the race start is under investigation. Could that be a possible jump start or out of position when the green flag flew just under 10 minutes ago? So that's something that the team will have to discuss as well, and try and figure out how to do it a bit differently to ensure no penalties are applied, but wait for official confirmation if there is a penalty that will be applied later on. So 3 laps completed, all so far have been completed behind the safety car. We have not had a full lap of green flag racing here, and there is the note that we want to see at the bottom of your screen. The race director has said that the safety car is in this lap, so we'll see the lights on top of the BMW extinguished, and that means next time we go through, the safety car will peel into the pit lane, and then it will be Harry Haddam in charge of the field who will try and back Novichkov into the likes of Alex Bukunchtov and the rest of the field to get that optimal start that he wants and to get that breathing room that he so desperately wants to have to ensure victory at the end here. There is Vasily Vatikin, a very unusual sight to see him that far down the order as well, having started from the pit lane. A very rapid driver indeed, and one to certainly watch out for is the number 96, and a formed GT racer, not just here in the United Arab Emirates and the region, but around the world as well. A number of drivers in this field actually race, not just here in the Gulf Radical Cup, but various endurance championships across the globe. Some will be flying over to Malaysia next month, and we will miss them in the championship, that's for sure. But of course they will return with more fight than ever in January 2026. So the safety car will peel in this time round, and that means Harry Haddam will try and back Alexander Novichkov into Bukunchtov and the rest of the field to get that start that he wants. And on the restart, here we go. Through the final few corners we go, and it looks like Harry Haddam has already now tried to escape up the road, and Novichkov has gone with him. He's got about 2 car lengths separating the two of them so far, and Bukunchtov in close proximity as well. So through the final corner, Amir Faison already looking on the inside of Perry Deramas on the restart. You can't do that until you get to the start-finish line. That's only when you can actually officially pass once again, even if the green flags are being shown. But now down towards turn 1, 2 and 3. Can we do it a bit cleaner this time? I think we will, because it is a single line streaming down the front straightaway here at the Dubai Autodrome, as Amir Faison again looking slightly on the inside there of Perry Deramas, but not close enough to make a move, but he's really closed that gap up on him now. Well, actually, that's Perry Deramas and Johnny Kazoum, and Amir wants to be a part of that action as well. So does Tiban Yousaf as well in his return to the championship. So out in front, as Harry Haddam tries to extend his lead here. He's got Novichkov behind him, followed by Bukunchtov. Then we have Johnny Kazoum, followed by Perry Deramas, Amir Faison, Yousaf, and the rest of the field. Now, the incident at turn 2, once again, has been noted. No further action there, so no further investigation at all for that is required, as Harry Haddam down the back straight here on our restart here in the Gulf Radical Cup, our 25-minute session. We've got 13.5 minutes remaining on the clock here for Haddam, and then Novichkov coming now under pressure from Alex Bukunchtov. Now, these two know each other quite well, raced together last season, of course, and of course it is something that Novichkov will relish if he can keep Bukunchtov behind him now this entire race. To keep a champion behind you and to keep someone like Bukunchtov with so much experience behind you as well will definitely be something to talk about later on this evening. So Haddam continues to lead here, but we'll see what the gap is when they come across the line next time round. He's gone purple through that first sector as well, and he's gone purple through sector 2 as well, but that's a given because we haven't had green flag racing so far in this race. The safety car was deployed on lap number 1 in turn 2 and turn 3, where unfortunately we see 3 cars that are retired, and then 1 extra car in the pit lane as well, and that is a spin. But who's that for? Is that Perry Deramas, or was that Amir Faison? Because I know our top 4 are not white livery car. I have a feeling that might be Perry Deramas in the 69, and I wonder if we can get a replay of what exactly happened there to the 69 and why he may be pointing in the wrong direction. But let's have a quick look at if that is the case. Johnny Kazoum comes through, and it was Perry Deramas. Amir Faison has also dropped down as well. He's lost a position. That's very unfortunate there for the British driver, and I think he's coming into the pit lane as well in the 69. That means now we have a total of 10 Golf Radical Cup cars racing, and there indeed Deramas is in 11th overall. Now, race start to be investigated, after the race for Perry Deramas and Amir Faisalin, but that's not the reason to why Perry has come into the pit lane here. So we'll have to see what exactly happened there in turn 14. A brief yellow flag was shown, but that has been now withdrawn as Perry has come into the pit lane. Once again with Harry Hannum, he's got a gap of 1.3 seconds between himself and his closest rival of Novichkov, and it looks like Bukanstov has started to back out ever so slightly here, away from Novichkov here, maybe giving him a bit of breathing room and some time to focus on attacking Hannum, and then at the very last stages of this race will Bukanstov pounce and try and take that position away. Now we're looking at a move on the inside. That's Vasily Vatikin on the left-hand side of your picture, on the inside of what looks to be Alexander Klebanov in the number 11. So there's a move for position. Moves Vasily up now into 7th overall. And he'll be tucked in now behind the number 15. Harry Hannum continues to lead here by 1.3 seconds. Goes purple through the first sector. But it looks like personal best here for Novichkov as well. And that's quite a gap that Hannum is building. Working his way through the bowl at turn 14. And there is Alexander Novichkov. Unfortunately, looks like about a corner or so behind him. And further through the field, we see Bukanstov, Kazum, and the rest now making their way through. Now, in the overall category, it is our top three, of course. It is Harry Hannum, Alexander Novichkov, and Alex Bukanstov. In the national class, though, it is Johnny Kazum from Sibin Yousaf and Amir Faisalin, your top three. But with Amir being under investigation for the start of the race, it may drop him down the order. So he's going to have to put a bit of breathing room between himself and the car behind him, which would be Andy Lowe. So luckily for him for the time being, the 96 of Vasily Vatikin is in between himself and that number 4 of Andy Lowe. Back now with the race leader, Harry Hannum, of course a former champion in the Clio Cup Middle East Series last year, 24 and 25, has made the jump over now to Golf Radical Cup. Great to see him and a number of other drivers also coming over from Clio Cup Middle East to try their hand here at Radical Racing. Alexander Klebanov also another one of those, as is Alexander Chechava as well. And Novichkov still staying within around 2 seconds of Harry Hannum. Did a personal best last time around of a 2:03.759, but that is 0.6 of a second off this man right here. So not close enough is the defending national class champion. And you would like to be a lot closer at this moment in time. And has a lot of work cutting out to do as he continues to lose more time, but importantly, he is running second, so this will be good points scored for him come the end of the race here for his championship hunt. Because to make things interesting here in the Golf Radical Cup, at the end of the season, they're allowed to drop at least one round. So they can actually drop their lowest point scoring rounds from their tally, and that kind of closed the gap up towards the tail end of the series. And it's not good if you continue to win throughout the championship. That means you're going to lose very valuable points. You can lose over 50 points for one weekend if you decide to drop a round. And if it's a round that has 3 race victories, that is a significant haul of points. And look at the gap now between Harry Hannum, Novichkov, Bukanstov, and Johnny Kazum, who falls to 7.6 seconds adrift from the race leaders. But importantly for him, he is running in the lead of the national class here as well. And that's very important for him, because of course that puts him right back into contention for that championship title come the end of the season. As Hannum's gap now is 1.9 seconds, so it's actually stayed the same. So Novichkov is still staying relatively on pace, although losing just fractions of a second each sector, but at least staying within that 2-second threshold for the time being. So if in the case a penalty is applied for whatever reason, he is still in contention essentially for the top step of the podium. But Harry Hannum has led a clean race so far. Nothing to note. We have seen track limit warnings pop up for at least 2 drivers, including Vasily Vatikin, who sits in 7th position. But for Harry Hannum so far, not a single foot wrong at all. A nice clean race here and a nice healthy gap of 1.9 seconds between himself and his closest rival of Alexander Novichkov, who sits in 2nd, with Bukhanchov in 3rd. 4 seconds adrift away from Harry Hannum, and he is 2.1 seconds adrift from Novichkov in front of him for the time being. Johnny Kazum a little bit further back, but a personal best on the previous lap there, and going green through sector 1 as well, so picking up the pace here on that new set of tyres that he's slapped on to each corner of his race car. They've really helped him here as well, and a fantastic qualifying effort from the Lebanese driver. Great to see him back in top form here as well, qualifying on the 2nd row of the grid. His best starting position all season so far, albeit we've had only 3 races, well 4 if we include this one as well. And even talking to James Winslow earlier before as well, it's very unusual to see Alex Bukhanchov qualify not on the front row of the grids. If anything, he usually, if he does not start on that front row of the grid, he usually starts from the pit lane. An unfamiliar territory, to say the least, for Alex. So he runs in. He goes fine there to Novichkov. Looks about 2/10 of a second, and the gap up front has now gone up to 2.2 seconds between the number 19 and the number 8. If we look further through the field, we can see where our national class drivers are as well. Johnny Kazum, Sivan Youssef and Amir Faisalin, your top 3 in that category as well. Now, but note about the start infringement has disappeared from our timing screen, so the stewards must be having a look at the replay there, just trying to figure out if there is a penalty that needs to be applied. Hopefully for Amir Faisalin, nothing will come of it, and I think for the team as well, they'll breathe a sigh of relief when nothing happens there. So 5 minutes to go here in this 25-minute race. We've elapsed 20 minutes of racing. The first sort of 5 to 6 minutes of this race behind the safety car. Not the way we would like to have started this race. And hopefully for the 69, 44, 32, 7 and 87, we'll see them back out on track later on today in sprint race number 2 here at the Dubai Autodrome in round 2 of the Gulf Radical Cup 25-26 season. 2.2 seconds is the gap. Here we're looking at Alain Alfonsi, the Frenchman at the tail end of this field in his first season here in the Gulf Radical Cup. And every session just continues to get quicker and quicker, and great to have him as part of this championship as well. Tucked in just behind Alexander Klebanov, 18.1 seconds drift from our race leader is the number 11. Now if we have a look around, we do actually have a battle brewing on track here between Vasily Vadakin and Amir Faisalin, and that's battle for position on track, not in class, and that's not what Amir wants at all, because Amir is currently sat 3rd, and he has a car between him and his closest rival in the national class category. And of course he does want Vasily coming through, although it would help him in the slipstream and tucking him down towards turn 1. And of course he could definitely learn the tricks of the trade here from Vasily with all his experience. Not to say that Amir doesn't have a lot of experience either. He's been doing Gulf Radical Cup for a number of years, and he's even stood on the top step of the podium. Now the race start for Faisalin and the 69 Perry-Deramas will be investigated after the race, so fingers crossed for Amir Faisalin that won't be a penalty. And now it looks like Amir is right on the tail end of Sivan Youssef, who is currently 2nd in class, and looks like we've got a 3-way battle here for 5th overall. Now this is very good news here for Johnny Kazum, because this now means that Sivan, who is behind him, has to defend from Amir and Vasily at the same time. Amir has to attack and defend at the same time, where Vasily just has to attack the 2 cars that are in front of him, and he knows that all too well with all the experience that he has underneath that helmet. So Hannum continues to lead 2.7 seconds to the good so far of Alexander Novichkov, who sits in 2nd position ahead of Alex Bukhanchov, and that gap is 2.7 seconds between the 2 of them at the moment. Looking at Alain Alfonsi, who's at the tail end of the field here, 32 seconds from Harry Hannum. I don't think there'll be enough time on the clock for Harry Hannum to catch the back bumper of the 33, so traffic won't be a factor in this first sprint race. It shouldn't be a factor either in sprint race number 2, but it will certainly be a factor in our endurance race. Now, it looks like Vasily Vatikin has got past Amir Faisalin. Now, that's not what he would have wanted at all for the number 15 driver. He wanted to stay right up behind Yusuf to make sure that he would vie for that second step of the podium, as this will be the last lap this time round for Harry Hannum, for Alexander Novichkov and for Alex Bukanshtov, along with the field behind them as well. Johnny Kazum, you just see him at the tail end of the shot there, working his way through turn 16 with 2 minutes to go, last lap, sorry, not 2 laps, 2 minutes to go on the clock, the final lap of the race here. I don't think Novichkov or Bukanshtov are close enough to make a move on either of the cars that are in front of them respectively. Well, Novichkov is in the sights of Bukanshtov, and then of course Novichkov is looking at the back bumper of Harry Hannum. 1.7 seconds is the gap, so it did come down on that penultimate lap there between our top 2, but not enough to capitalise and move into the lead of the field here. So it looks like Novichkov and Bukanshtov will settle for the second and third step of the overall podium. But this man right here looks to be walking away with yet another victory in the Gulf Radical Cup for the 25-26 season. There he is for Gulf Sport Racing, Harry Hannum, the Clio Cup Middle East champion from the 24-25 season, and looking to add another championship title to his trophy cabinet. And you can see Novichkov is actually closing up quite a fair bit on this last lap of the race. It was 1.7 seconds at the line and looks a lot closer than it was previously. I'm not sure that Hannum has anything to worry about. It's still quite a ways back for the number 8 to make a move and take a position away at any point. As there is Harry Hannum working his way through the bowl through turn 14, and tucked in behind him is Alexander Novichkov, about half a corner behind him. But now through the final corner, Harry Hannum will pick up yet another victory here in the Gulf Radical Cup, and it'll be one piece of silverware to take home as the checkered flag waves for Harry Hannum as he comes across the line. He takes the first victory of the day, followed by Alexander Novichkov, and Alex Bukanshtov in third will round out the podium. But for Johnny Kazum, after what happened in the endurance race, comes across the line and he'll take the victory in the national class, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that. Sabin Yousaf on his return to the championship will come across the line in second in class, and Vasily Vatikin 6th overall and 4th in the overall standings, although the drivers in the national class can also actually contest for a podium position in that category as well. Amir Faisalin will round out the podium in the national class, and then we have Andy Lowe, Alexander Klebanov and Alan Alfonsi across the line as well for our 10 finishers here in the Gulf Radical Cup. There is Andy Lowe. We didn't get to see much of him during this race. Locked in battles further through the field, and of course participated in the first race of the series. And right there at the end, Vasily Vatikin will receive a 5-second time penalty for repeatedly exceeding track limits after being warned about it now. That would change the order overall, as it would bump Amir Faisalin up a position, but will it move Andy Lowe up a position as well? Not quite, because Andy Lowe is 7.3 seconds adrift from Amir Faisalin and Vasily Vatikin. So that will be a change of position for Amir, moving up into 6th position overall here at the end, but he retains that third step of the podium. There is your race 1 winner, and of course before we have the trophy presentation, we'll of course check out some highlights from sprint race number 1 here for the Gulf Radical Cup of the 25-26 season, round 2 here. 1 race done, 2 to go. 1 sprint race to take place later on today, and then it will be followed by an endurance race tomorrow. So there's the man that will be standing on the top step of the podium and adding a further 25 points to his points tally here to further extend his lead in the championship over that man there in 3rd position. On the podium is Alex Bukanshtov. And Alexander Novichkov will be absolutely excited as well to be on the podium as well after a fantastic qualifying earlier today to put himself second alongside Harry Hannum. And here are the race results as Harry Hannum from Alexander Novichkov. Then we have Alex Bukunchtov from Johnny Kazum with Siban Yousaf in 5th position. Vasily Vatikin will be shown on our screens as 6th position, but he has that 5-second penalty to be applied here at the end. That will move Amir Faison up into 6th position. Andy Lowe 8th at the line, a little bit too further back from Amir and Vladikin to benefit from that penalty that was applied, with Alexander Klebanov and Alan Alfonsi rounding out our 10 finishes here. Perry Deramas and Sergey, unfortunately, in the pit lane there at the end of this race, with Alexander Chachava, Yahid Karim and Alexis going out on the very first lap of the race. But no doubt the teams will be working hard on all 5 of those cars to get them prepped for race number 2 later today. Why don't we check out some highlights now from Sprint Race 1 of the Golf Radical Cup, Round 2 of the 25-26 season. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Ready when you are, Venus. In second position in the national class, please welcome Shibin Yousaf. And ladies and gentlemen, to the top step of the podium, Johnny Kazoom. A well-deserved top step of the podium there for Johnny. Now let's bring our marshals here who will hand out some trophies. We'll first invite Ashley to present the third place trophy in the national class to Amir Faisalin. Next, we'll invite Ijaz to help us present the second place trophy in the national class to Shimin Yousaf. And last but not least, we'll invite Abdul Rahman to present the winner's trophy in the national class to Johnny Kazoom. And these are your top three here for the national class. They'll be back racing later on this afternoon. Will we have a repeat for this podium? We'll have to wait and see just what happens in the second race for the Gulf Radical Cup. Next up, let's move over to the overall category, and we'll bring out our top three here as well. In third position, please welcome Alex Bukanstov. In second position in the overall category, please welcome Alexander Novichkov. Sporting a fabulous mustache here for this weekend is Novichkov. And our winner in the overall category, please welcome Harry Hannum. And to help us present some trophies, we invite once again our marshals. And first we'll invite Ashley to help us present the third place trophy in the overall category to Alex Bukanstov. We'll then invite Ijaz to help us present the second place trophy in the overall category to Alexander Novichkov. And last but certainly not least, let's invite back once again Abdul Rahman to help us present the winner's trophy in the overall category to Harry Hannum. And these are your top three overall. Will we see the same podium configuration when it comes to race 2 later on today? Well, we'll have to find out when we have another 25-minute race here for the Gulf Radical Cup to take place later on today. We'll now move over to Golf Pro Car.